I remember the first breath I ever took as if it were a promise and a curse, braided into one. I am by many names, but the one that fits the shape of my shadow is Dracula. This is how I became what I am, when it happened, why I chose the path I did, and the date that anchors the beginning of my long undoing. I was born on 31st October, 1431, in a stone house that smelled of river mud and iron. The midwinter wind had not yet learned to bite. Instead it whispered of harvests and omens. My mother named me with a name that meant little then, but the year and the night would later be read like a ledger, a child born between saints and superstitions, under a moon that watched without mercy. I did not wake into darkness all at once. The change came like a slow frost, a tightening of the throat and a widening of hunger that no bread could still. I was a soldier first, a man who learned the geometry of fear on battlefields and in courts, where men traded lives like coins. The wound that finished me was not a single blade, but a series of betrayals, a poisoned chalice, a lover's lie, the cold indifference of those I had bled for. On the night I died, the sky tore open and something older than grief leaned down and taught me how to breathe again. Why did I accept what I became? Because mortality had taught me the cost of mercy. I had loved and watched that love rot under the slow teeth of time. I had sworn oaths that men broke for coin. I had seen children die with the same small, honest faces they had been born with. Immortality was not a gift so much as an instrument. I took it to keep what I could not otherwise keep. Memory, vengeance, the stubborn refusal to be erased. In the dark that followed, I learned to be patient, to let centuries sharpen my will until it cut like a blade. The night of my rebirth is a map of sensations. The metallic tang of blood on my tongue, the soft, obscene thrill of strength returning to hands that had once trembled, the hush that fell over the world as if the earth itself were holding its breath. I remember the first face I saw afterward, pale, surprised, human, and how quickly surprise curdled into something else. I learned then that hunger is not only for flesh, it is for stories, for the warmth of a life to press against the cold of mine. Each century since has been a ledger of names and nights, of cities that rose and fell like the rise and fall of a chest. I keep my birth date like a talisman and a warning. 31st October, 1431. It is a line I can draw through. Time to remind myself that I was once small,